In today's video, I want to take it back to the basics and just talk about the brushes that I think you would need for a full face. In my last makeup video, two of my friends watched the video and they told me how they felt like they didn't have enough makeup brushes, and I realized I don't want anyone who watches my videos to feel like that. When I first started playing with makeup, I barely had anything. Like, I probably had 5 brushes. So I don't ever want someone to watch my videos and think they don't have enough makeup or enough brushes. I'm gonna give you basically the essential brushes that I feel you need to do a full face of makeup. One of the items isn't a brush, it's a sponge, but I swear it's necessary. It's pretty much in the order of how I do my makeup. By the way, my brushes are gonna be dirty in this video because the brushes I'm about to tell you are the ones I use whenever I do my face. There was no washing my brushes and not using them to do my makeup for this. Like, no, they're dirty because I use these brushes every single time. To start off with foundation, I'm gonna put you on to the Real Technique buffing brush. This brush is my ride or die foundation brush. Like, I don't know what it is about these bristles, but they work magic. I love this brush. It's the only brush that I use to do my foundation. It's good for getting full coverage because I find that it doesn't soak up too much foundation. You need this brush. For a flawless base, you really do need this. This buffing brush came in a set. It was the Real Technique's Flawless Base set, I think it was, and it was $19.99 for 4 brushes. But this brush and one other brush in that set I get the most use out of. My next item isn't a brush, it's a sponge. I actually got a new sponge for this video because the one I use every day, like, it looks disgusting. The sponge I'm referring to is the E.l.f. Camo Concealer Sponge. I can't stop using this sponge. I use it for concealer. It doesn't have to be the Camo concealer because this sponge works amazing with all concealers. It just blends my concealer out amazing, and the sponge is really soft. I do use it damp. This sponge has really changed my life. I realized when I was looking it up, I saw that Ulta has it for cheaper. So at Ulta, the sponge is $5, and then at Target and Harmon's it's $6, so there's like a $1 difference there. My next brush is one that I use for my cream contour. This, I actually just realized it's not a Morphe brush, it's a Japonesque brush. I got it from TJ Maxx. I think it was like $6.99 there. The Japonesque 718 is basically a buffing brush. I use this for my cream contour, basically on the perimeter of my face. This brush, it just fits perfectly when trying to bronze up the face or contour the face with any cream products. This is the brush I reach for. My next brush is the Morphe E49. I use this brush specifically to set under my eyes with finishing powder before I go in with loose powder to bake under my eyes. So here's the thing. I have a lot of Morphe face brushes. With the exception of 3 brushes, all of my Morphe face brushes are from the subscription Morphe Me with Live Glam. Each month for $19 or maybe $21, they send you 3 to 8 brushes. I mostly got face brushes. I think only once I got eye brushes. That's how I got all of my Morphe brushes. Honestly, it's worth it because some of Morphe's face brushes are that $19 or $21 that I was paying for monthly to get more than 1 brush. But yeah, the E49 alone at Morphe is $12. I find the brush necessary because I do go in with a finishing powder, but if you use loose powder just to bake and you don't use a finishing powder, this brush definitely isn't necessary. The Real Technique contour brush is one of the other brushes that came in the Real Technique Flawless Base set that I get the most use out of. Even though this is a contour brush, I usually use this when I'm not using a sponge to apply loose powder. So when I'm baking my face, I use this to go under my eyes, my T-zone, down my nose, and then also to just help chisel out my cheek. This is the brush I reach for just because it's small enough to get in under my eyes and all that. The bristles hold powder really well. The EcoTool Full Powder Brush. This brush is what I use to dust off all the loose powder that I bake my face with. It just covers so much and it's so easy to dust everything off really quickly. Any loose powder I have on my face, this is what I use. Also, like, let's say I apply too much blush on my face or like too much powder bronzer or whatever, this is what I would go in with and just tone it down a little bit with some setting powder. And it is $8.99 at Target, I believe. I got this years ago, so it was probably cheaper back then, but this brush is definitely worth the $8. I realized I messed up and I did not show and I'm pretty sure I didn't mention what brush I was talking about in this clip. I'm talking about the Morphe M405. This is what I use to apply any powder contour or powder matte bronzer. The brush definitely didn't look like this when I first got it. I will say that after the first time I washed it, the bristles were just a disaster, but it still works amazing. Like, it just hugs my cheek perfectly and it evenly applies the powders. Like, I got this brush from Ulta for $10 because Ulta does carry select face brushes from Morphe, but of course you can also get it from Morphe for $10 as well. I would get it from Ulta because Ulta doesn't consider Morphe to be prestige, so that weekly discount that they have, like $3.50 off 15 or $5 off 10, whatever they have going on, it applies to Morphe. I don't know what the name of this brush is. I don't know if it's still on the site, but this is considered a stippling brush, and stippling brushes are usually for foundation. This brush is one that I would use to apply blush. Honestly, it is kind of large, but the way I apply blush, like, I don't really care. Like, I don't need it to be so precise. So I would just go in with blush, and I feel like because it's like a stippling type of situation, it would just apply so nicely. So yeah, I would definitely suggest this BH Cosmetics brush as a blush brush. I'm pretty sure E.l.f. has stippling brushes that are very similar. If I can find one, I'll link it in the description. Stippling brushes are a go for blush. The Real Technique powder brush is one that I want to say didn't come in a set. It sold as a single brush for $9.99. I got this years ago, and this brush is my go-to when it comes to applying shimmer bronzers. I feel the same way about shimmer bronzers when it comes to blush, that it doesn't have to be as precise or anything, so that's why this large brush comes in handy, because I literally just dust the shimmer bronzer all over my cheek, and then that's it. This covers so much area. It's lasted years. It looks the same as when I first got it. So my final brush is the one that I use to apply highlight, and that is the Morphe 510. This brush I've been using forever. I actually keep repurchasing this brush because I find that as time goes and I wash the brush, the bristles definitely do get a bit out of control. So I find that I just have to repurchase it, because the more frayed the bristles get, like, the more all over my highlighter goes. Like, it's not as clean as I like it to be. I got it for $10 from Ulta. I use it to apply on my cheek, the tip of my nose. I can apply the bridge of my nose with this brush. I go above my brow, I do my chin. That's the end of my recommendations for makeup brushes. When it comes to a full face, I feel like these brushes never fail me when I do a full face of makeup, so I feel like it's great for beginners. It's important what products you use, but the tools you use are just as important, and these are where it's at. Okay? Yeah, so that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. So I'll see you in the next video.